And there we go. We go live with many dings and dongs and all that sort of thing. So
I don't want to know about dings and dongs. Thank you very
much. Especially the dongs. Yeah.
That's all right. So howdy, everyone. It is Crow's Nest No Quarter, episode 45. This one's called It's Heavy Man, just because it's a reference to the heavy turrets that we've got now in this bounty.
RB, if you have to explain the name, it's not a very good name. Just saying.
Well, look, it was a lot of pressure the other day. So anyway, never mind. So we'll say howdy to everyone. The link is in the YouTube chat. So if you want to come and join us, get on with it. So we've got Doomsday Revel.
How's it going, everyone?
We're getting a tour of his house as he gets to his situated area.
I know, this is awesome. Simba Dakota.
Hello.
Ross Crow.
Good evening, everyone.
And Watchman.
Hi, everyone.
And Damnation.
Yeah, I'm here.
You are. And me, RB. So I guess we're going to talk about bounties. So how's everyone going with it? And tell us all about it.
All right, do you want the good or the bad first?
Any order you like.
Well, see, when I ask you a question like that, you're supposed to give me one or the other. I'll give you the bad first, okay?
Right.
Lag. Lag is terrible. Lag is god-awful. Like, there's been times where, whenever I go to hit a target, I get stuck in the spinning circle of death, and I have to refresh like 2 to 3 times before I can get in the battle. So that's been kind of terrible. Scatter guns sometimes sit there and just shoot at walls and don't do anything to the walls or turrets or outposts or whatever, and then you move them just a little bit. Then suddenly, for some reason, they'll start doing damage. Still haven't figured out exactly what that's all about. The good though is like if you're using Arbalest breachers, like I'm finding this event to be more fun than anything for a while. I'm mainly hitting player bases this time around. I did my first 10K on the your opponent bases, and I'm like, this is taking too freaking long. And so I just started hitting player bases, and it's been pretty fun and pretty enjoyable. They definitely seem to be messing around with the target payout some. I noticed like on the first day, like any targets that were like level 100 or plus were giving you the big bonus of 500 to 1,000. Then it seemed to jump up a little bit to like 109. And today it seems to be up a little bit more. And so I'm like, well, that's kind of screwed up.
Yeah, I've been hitting the 500 plus ones. Just basically one Arbalest breacher, like your opponent, and another ship just to go around the outside and tidy up, It does it pretty well, Most of them bases you can take with an Arbalest. I'm currently on. Well, I was on 152, 153k or something like that. So I picked up everything I need. It's not. It's for me. In actual fact, I found it to be one of the easiest bounties that I've ever had to do. It was a bit of a grind doing that on your opponent basis, but it's. If you need it, you need it. You know what I mean? It's like those turrets and stuff. I think you got to have now.
Now, see, the key is though you never say easiest. You say most enjoyable, because as soon as they hear the word easiest, they're like, "Oh, we got to fix that shit."
Yeah, no,
crank it up.
It was a boring chore, and I hated it.
The next bounty, everybody, when it's more difficult, we know who to blame.
Timestamp that one.
Sharpen those pitchforks and heat that tar up right now and get it ready.
Very good. Yeah, I can't say I've had too much trouble with lag, so I've been lucky this time. So yeah, I haven't really been going very hard at this, but yeah, it's been interesting with everything else that we need to do. It's makes it a bit of a struggle, but it is what it is. So,
I wonder if they're running the event on their Australian servers. That would explain why you're not getting lag, but everybody else is.
Well, I wanted to touch on the lag as it goes, because I've had it a few times. When you go in there and you can't. you start the battle and then all of a sudden you can't get into it. Or the other thing that you mentioned, I've had it as well. You just press S on your Arbalest breacher, to let it sort of, once you've got past the first gates in the bases or whatever, and then it just sits there. It's not actually, it's going, as if not that, it's trying to make a decision or something, or what it wants to hit, So it just sits there and does fuck all. And sorry, language. It just sits there and doesn't move, and you have to physically just move it on a little bit, then press this again, and you're away. But if I wasn't monitoring it, it'll be stuck in it. It's timed out, and that's happened in quite a few of the targets that I've hit. Your opponent ones.
Now, let me ask you this: when you notice that happen, are you equidistant between two possible targets that it could go to shoot at?
No.
Okay.
That's it. If there was one, no. I mean, it's a couple of millimeters away is the next thing it should be shooting at, and there's nothing else until it gets around to the island, and it's just sat there and not moved. So it's weird.
I know in previous bounties it had a big problem when it was equidistant between two things. Your boat would just kind of sit there and either just sit there and not move or sit there and spin in circles. That's the only reason I asked that.
Yeah, that's it. I can understand if it was that, but it's not. There was nothing else. That was at the same distance for it to shoot at. It was only all he had to do is move forward a few millimeters, and it's hitting the turret.
I'm encountering the exact same thing, but I'm noticing it when I go to switch it on to auto. When I'm going from driving to then that switch move. When I go to switch it, a lot of times I'm noticing the ship or the fleet, whatever I'm using, is just stopping out and just staying right there. And that's what you're talking about. That's what and I'm having that too. It's just not target. It's not going. It's not even choosing to target a next object. It's just waiting.
Yeah, it just sits there. It doesn't move.
Right.
Yeah.
Welcome, Toxic, by the way.
Oh, it's about time. Gee.
I know, right?
G'day, everyone.
Hello.
You sound sleepy.
Sounds like somebody overslept today, buddy.
No, I just totally forgot. Being a holiday tomorrow, I was thinking it was Saturday, so.
Oh, we got a holiday in Australia, again.
Yeah, we do. Yes.
It's Australia Day, man.
It is.
Okay, yeah. It obviously means nothing in the UK to us.
No.
So we don't have a UK day. Maybe we should. I could do another holiday.
No, you have those funny bank holidays instead.
Yeah.
We have Independence Day just to give the UK the big middle finger.
Oh, we celebrate that one as well. And it's when we got rid of
I love when you guys try to spin that whole thing.
Oh, well, if it works, why not? Very good. So the one thing that I did kind of notice talking about weapons not firing and all that sort of stuff is so I swap between scattergun breaches and ARB breaches, and the scatterguns are doing some crazy stuff that my understanding of the way scatterguns work is they fire out and that's it. But it seems to do more damage when you're further away from the target than what it should do, all the time. So I've had a bit of experience with that. So that's been a bit odd, but
Well,
it is this crazy game.
With my breachers, especially in replicas, and the way I noticed it is, I was semi-autoing some of the lower targets, and I was literally in a 95 or a 98, and there was some level 10 walls. Well, I moved up, and of course it smashed the level 9s in front of it because I was moving, and then so I was like, all right, cool. So I jumped out of the battle. And then all of a sudden, I see that my fleet was done with the battle, but I was still sitting by the same base. So I go in, and everything is exactly where it was when I jumped out. And I was like, what the crap? So I roll back up to that spot and smash a couple of the level 10 walls as I move up to it, but there's still just like one row left. And I'm literally, when the breacher goes down to the, the 0 spread and the 400% reload, I was watching it hit dirt, like right on the edge of the land, like there was an invisible wall there. And it was just targeting that. I was like, what in the crap? And I tested it several times, and sometimes it'll be on the left side of the land, sometimes it'll be in the middle, sometimes it'll be on the right. And I've actually watched it when it goes down to that 0% spread, tag the water, just sit there and you can just see water splashing or dirt just splashing. And it's like, I'm clearly targeted on the turret that's right there, but it's like it can't make it over this little dirt pile. And and it's not just that. My Poseidon Hurricane does the exact same thing. I have havocs on that, but my revs do not.
If you are hitting your opponent bases, I would recommend using an Arbalest breacher if you've got it, because they just obviously shoot through the walls and everything, but it's much quicker, and you just get the job done with one of those. And you really theoretically, I mean, I just use one. I'd just go in and do a few bases for it needs a repair. You're only damaging one ship.
But I have no Arbalest breacher at all, mainly because some reasons I didn't have some of the specials needed to make it work, and two, it just wasn't the avenue I wanted, and it's a shame to see the Rays 2 just kind of it's not performing like it should.
Yeah, and honestly, I know for sure that's a problem that they're aware of, because I brought this up last bounty about how it was behaving that way. So it's not like it's something new. It was doing the exact same thing last time. That was one of the reasons last time I didn't even bother hardly participating in it, because it just pissed me off so bad.
Yeah, and I brought it up too, and then I was hoping it'd be fixed, and then to see it doing the same thing and just tagging dirt, it's like, man, it's just like the targeting is off somewhere. It's like,
yeah, I mean, I completely missed the last bounty. I was busy working. I just did not have the time to get on and devote the hours that was needed. And I thought I had done before the bounty before that. I'd managed to get on in about the last 5 hours, and in that 5 hours, I picked up about 52k just hitting bases and got what I needed. But the last one, I intended to try and get on in the last day again, but I just didn't have time. I really didn't. I was working and couldn't do it. So this time, I knew I had to do it. Go for it. Otherwise, you end up sort of missing out, and especially with this new turret and stuff, or turrets. It was not something that I could bypass this time.
Yeah, it's a pretty important one.
Yeah, not if you want to try and stay relevant.
Yeah. So one of the interesting things that we just kind of discovered with the store being open early this time is that it's so if you spend points, it's actually taking you back down the leaderboard. So I can see I've gone from, I think I was like 9th or something in sector to 5th, because people are obviously spending points. So it'll be interesting to see, because there's leaderboard prizes, right? That's part of all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, as we were discussing too, if you actually if you click on that leaderboard and go to where it says, because it says bounty in the first drop down menu, but if you change that to where it says seasonal bounty, it'll actually show you what you've gotten for this bounty in particular so far. So I'm 100% sure that's what they're going to use for the leaderboard prizes.
I hope so. There's going to be some pretty disappointed people and a lot of yelling if they don't.
Yeah, I mean, as I said before, it does show you that, and it does show you where you are. But I mean, it's not the obvious place where you would normally go to. You just expect it to be there.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
It's like you don't expect your total to be there, no matter what you've sort of spent of redeemed. No, I'm 152 4-2-1. I've got so
Okay. Because didn't they, just looking at that leaderboard, didn't it used to say, you know, bounty 17 or something like that? So it looks like they've added a new drop down in there.
No, I
Or
think
am I
it's
just
always
imagining
been,
it?
I think it's always been bounty and then seasonal bounty. I just don't think most people ever paid attention to the fact that the seasonal bounty and the lifetime bounty thing were there.
Yeah, because this is all a new thing that we can actually claim during bounty, so it's all a bit different for everyone.
But has lifetime bounty ever worked for anybody?
No.
Okay. Yeah, just one.
Yeah. Coming soon, yeah.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one. So Simba, you just said that you'd got off work, so you're going to.
I'm
you're
off work
just starting the
today and
event.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've dropped one of the new turrets in already, just the one at the moment, and yeah.
Which one did you go with, if you don't mind me asking?
I put the missile, the pen turret in at the
Oh.
moment. I will drop another one in. I'm actually filling up at the moment, hitting 85s, never relays, because I want to get some. Start building another lurker and then get the. Probably build the other two breaches as well. You know.
What was the build time on the transformer and the turret?
I think it's about 18 days.
I'm pretty sure. I think.
No. Sorry, 13 days. 13 days.
Yeah, I was gonna say the information I
13,
got
yeah.
was the turret was 9.5, or the transformer was 9.5 days, and the turret itself was like 3.7.
Yeah.
So if you're doing it in sections, you can do it instantaneously.
Yeah, that's it. It's about 13 days. Yeah,
Nice.
around about that. Yeah. Yeah, I was full of base parts beforehand anyway, so you know I sort of did it instantly. I've got to fill up again before I build the next one, but obviously I wanted to get another like holes building. You know, what I mean, I don't like to have a shipyard not busy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes, we can all understand that all too easily. I logged on before and I didn't have anything going. I'm like, bloody hell, quick. Hit the button.
How's your bounty going, Ross?
I'm doing pretty well, actually. I mean, I'm at 110,000. I have hit only a few of the map targets. I actually hit those just when I try to, if it saves me, if it's beneficial to me on the damage wise on my fleet, and I think if I can make it through a couple more, get more points that way on some map targets. I have hit a couple map targets, but primarily I've really hit the other players just like like it's intended, in my opinion. I like that the points are added to players' bases, so they're worth something, even if they have nothing, whatever. If I hit a player level 120 base, and they look to me like they're worth 1,000 or close to, or whatever, at minimal, and to me that's a good thing. That I'm not hitting something worth 0. So I'm happy with that. I'm not happy with the I'm not happy with the way the announcements are made, changes are made in bounty and not told. So certain things that aren't released until later, till after bounty's already running. I'm just not happy with the way they do that. Meaning that the taps of the base taps for the points with the old gunboat has been removed and altered. Well, and without confusion, if they would make a statement prior to release, explaining, it would solve a lot of my problems with it. I don't have any issues with taking that or altering it itself. Just the lack of communication.
Yeah, I mean, hitting the map targets, you're right. Obviously, it does take a little bit longer, but from my perspective, obviously found it cheaper than hitting player bases to some extent. So, if you had the time, and this weekend I actually did have the time, and it's not often I do, but this time I did, so I could put that in, because hitting player bases, sometimes it takes a prep, and then you've got, because they've lurkers in there and God knows what else, so that can be quite expensive if you've gone that route, whereas you can hit 3 or 4 of the 500 plus are your enemy bases, whatever, and before you need a repair on one ship, just a single ship. So I found it was much cheaper to do it that way. Well, for me anyway, for my
right.
Yeah, I did want to touch on that. If they're going to change things, just say it from the start. It's so. These sorts of things really confuse me, and these are the things that to me really aggravate people. And surely you don't want to be aggravating your customers unnecessarily. And it's this decision was made, and that's okay. But just tell us from the start. We shouldn't have to be asking and going on Discord and all this sort of thing, or blowing up the forums to find out that something that was originally has been in the last however many bounties, so quite a lot, is now gone. So just if you're going to do it, just say it from the start. Just weather the storm instead of trying to piss people off. I just don't understand it. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't happy the fact that there wasn't any auto banks. That would have been nice for everyone, because as we know, with the auto banks, if you was getting hit, you could bank and they'd still get the points if they killed you. You know what I mean? And you'd still keep your your bounty. So it was kind of a win-win in one aspect, and the fact they've taken that away, I think it's not good.
No, it's upset a lot of lower players. So it's to me, it's more the announcements that if you're going to change it, just say it from the start. This should be in the briefing. You shouldn't have to be a day into the event before you go, oh yeah, by the way, everyone, sorry about that, I probably should have said that earlier. So
and saved the thousands of tickets.
Right? Well, that's right.
Yeah. Are you enjoying your drink? Yeah. Oh, by the way, that's toxic. Maybe I should have mentioned it before I poured it.
That's right. Sorry about that. And speaking of that, have you done any bounty toxic? Are you participating?
Yeah, I've hit a few of the opponents, and that's just about it. I mainly auto them. Can't be bothered at the moment. There's too much to do. There's base parts. You need to get this. You need to get that. So I just do as much as I can on auto, and then I'll repair for a bit and go and watch TV or play guitar or whatnot. So yeah.
I wish I could play guitar.
I wish it. So do I.
So do your neighbours, yeah.
We got videos on how to do it.
Well, that's right. It is an easier thing to learn these days because it's not some boring book. If you there's a lot of different options on everything these days. So
probably easier to learn how to play guitar than it is to learn how to play Battle Pirates.
That's true.
So when I had to learn how to play guitar, I drove 30 minutes to the next town, and then we go downstairs to this dude that had he was a really old hippie and had really long hair, but he had
that's guitar you were learning how to play?
he had the worst breath ever, dude. So the room was tiny and it just filled up the whole room. So I can play really well, but I could probably have been really damn good if I wasn't distracted as a kid by that dude's breath.
You need to wear a mask.
Very good. Now, so back to Battle Pirates instead of Guitar Weekly. So, Watchman, so you've put in your turret. I guess it'll be interesting to see what happens if and when you get hit now, because I'm very interested in what this is going to do to bubble pads.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, one of our guys has got a couple of turrets in already. He's chopped a couple in, but so I watched the hit on his base. But sadly, the guy never even got to his turrets before he died, so we didn't see how much damage they were doing. You know,
Bugger.
It was like, well, that was a waste of time putting them in.
But yeah, I was wanting to know, like, how far off, possibly, like, his portals and his bubble pad were just from adding that, from adding the guns, you know.
Well, he still went over 25% because he got them on his island, so you know he still went over 25% before they got around to his fleet, and then you know got to, but unfortunately they didn't get close enough to the island for that to get a shot off. You know.
Okay. Well, that's kind of interesting though, because that's what I'm curious about as to what it's going to do to our bubble pads. Because I was thinking, well, you know, I'll get them, but I won't put them in yet, knowing that they're going to, you know, fiddle around with the whole bubble pad mechanics in a couple of weeks or whatever. That whether it was worth even putting them in at the moment and then have them, you know, stuff it all up again. So. But if they're already going over the 25%, I guess that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that was in his design, you know, and you know the particular hitter. Obviously, everyone, some people, you know, have different fleets that can prep out better. You know, that are more designed for hitting guard fleets than turrets. You know, I mean, you know, you can take off some of the specials and just have it for hitting ships. Rather than you know hitting buildings, if you want to prep, you know, so you can drive past a lot of stuff. Don't want to give too many things away, but you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I do, because that was kind of what I was curious about as to the whole placement and everything, because it is going to be a whole new strategy that we need to learn. You know, so if you put it up the front and they drive straight past it, you know. That's not really doing any good, and yeah, so it's an interesting twist to it all.
Well, like one of my I had was like, okay, put it at the front, but instead of facing out, have it facing backwards into your base. That way, if they decide to try to rush past it, it's shooting at them the whole time when they're going down your channels and coming back up the next one and whatnot.
Yeah, I've kind of got you on that, but I mean, the ones at the front, I mean, they've got no armor on. You know, the ones the turrets there. Because you know you want them to die fast. You know you want to get that 25% for your bubble pad, yeah. And then after they got the 25%, then you want to get them into that kill zone. You know, and that's where that should be targeting. You know, the new turrets. You know, in that kill zone, you want them to sit and like get hit by everything if you can. You know. So
and you can't have the range extender or the extra damage percentage on there either. Because that's where the heavy thing goes, whatever it's called, when you equip it to the turret.
No, well, you can still have your specials and stuff that give you the extra range. And
that's it. Yes, it's a transformer.
Yes, but the transformer at the bottom you can't have anymore.
Oh, that's that was only giving you 5 range anyway.
Yeah, well, the smart warheads. Smart warheads gives you 22% extra range.
Gives you 35% damage, though, I think, doesn't it?
What the smart warheads? No,
the transformer at the bottom.
No, it just gives you 50,000 power capacity.
Yeah. No, I mean the old one, like that one you had to take away.
Yeah. One probably did, but you won't be able to fit. You have to have the transformers on to be able to fit in the turret.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean the missile itself is giving you massive amounts more damage than any other missile you had to have. So I don't think losing that 35% is that big of a deal.
No, I didn't know it was going to go on there.
But
it's like 800,000 damage or whatever.
Yeah, but it is again. It's directional. You know what I mean? So you know it's got an arc. You know. So
yeah, I built it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That I didn't know that it was going in that spot. The heavy turret.
I might flip my base back to the the last design that I had, actually, because it might work better in that one than it actually does in the current design. You know, because it's easier to, you know, use the arc. You know, yeah, I think it might work better in my previous design.
I know I'm going to have to between lurkers and this new missile. I'm going to have to do a total new base design. I know that.
Yeah, that's it as well for the lurkers. You know, I can put them. You know, be more effective. But fortunately, I've still got that base design, so I can flip it pretty quick if I need to. You know.
See, I'm with RB. I'm worried. I'm going to have to hold off on. I do like the turrets themselves. I prefer the missile over the mortar. If I'm going to just go and say what I like, the better. I do reading the stats and all that, but I'm going to hold off on installing them in my base itself, because I personally have been on the deleting base, you know, for so long here, for months actually. I've been deleting turrets, warehouses, you name it, just to balance, right? Since refactor, actually, I've had to delete and not upgrade items, and in fact go backwards to get my bubble pad how it was or how I'd like it to be. And so I'm finally there now, and I don't foresee me even being able to install these being in I see that the armor that they add just alone, just from installing the turret or the gun, is going to throw it so far off that I don't think I can do it with my current design.
Okay, look at the Thunderlord mortar battery. Yeah, look at it.
Okay,
right, and special abilities, explosive damage, right, minus 15,000 per hit, but deflection 75,000 every time it hits. If that fleet is stopped when they're coming in, they're getting minus 75,000 deflection.
Whoa! That's if it stacks up that high.
Yeah.
It's not like every mortar that hits them, it's giving them minus 75,000. It's every mortar that hits them gives them that minus 1,500 or 15,000 or whatever.
Yeah, the max. Yeah, the max. Yeah.
Of 75,000.
Yeah, but it's still pretty useful. It's still pretty useful. You know what I mean? Because anything that takes deflection away.
I think I think it's garbage, because with that low projectile speed, I don't see hardly anybody ever getting hit by it.
Well, with the what's that old slide loader with that, or even the one that came out of the old Drake bases, what was that special that boosts projectile speed? That'll help some.
It'll help some, but I don't think it's enough to where it's going to be affected, though, because the projectile speed on it's only 150. And like if you go back, like the Halo,
get up to 300.
Has a 60 projectile speed, and while this has like a projectile speed that's twice as much as what a Halo is, I still don't think you're going to be able to get it fast enough to where you're ever going to be hitting if people are even on the move a little bit.
Depends on the arc, would be the main thing.
Yeah,
the trajectory. Because like if it's got a low trajectory, it's got a chance. If it's got a high one, well, I just wasted 10,000 points.
See, for me, it says 35,000 armor points. 35,000 armor points. I just can't throw anywhere in my.
Well,
million.
If it said I could put that on a portal, golden, I'd be in. But since I can't, it's not going in my.
Wouldn't having heavier armor in the back of the base actually strengthen or make the bubble pad easier up front?
No,
they're gonna have to kill more of your base in the front to get you to bubble pad if you put it in the back.
Right, and then purposely adding armor to a weapon is actually it is just. Let's look how well it's done for them in the past, and look what it's caused in the past. And then let's look at you're deciding to start this again. Yes, clear as day. Clear as day. This has not been done before. You are starting this again.
Well, you got to think though, Ross. Like this is probably based on numbers that's coming. That whether we like it or not.
This is based on numbers that they do not understand.
Nah, dude, it's based on what they're gonna do later on. So,
I do know, but I understand it. But I understand that they do not understand. They do not understand that. They do not understand where we're at now. They do not understand where we're going yet on the bubble pad issue. And I can clear as day say that it's the truth. And if anyone says different, then they're liars, because that is the truth.
Wow.
They do not know.
Now, wait a minute. Just because somebody has a different opinion than you do doesn't make them a fucking liar.
No, I'm saying they don't understand where they're at with the bubble pad, because that's been the refractor issue. I'm not saying that they're liars or not, right? But if
you literally just got done saying that anybody who didn't agree with what you said was a liar. Is literally what you got done.
Okay, I'll stand by that. If someone from Kickseye says that they understand the bubble pad, right, and this is exactly where they want it to be, then they lie.
Well, I'll put it to you this way: I've never used a bubble pad. I never will. I think it's cheesy, and that's why I build my fleets to 100% every fucking thing I can, because I don't want to prep and I don't want another repair. Fuck a bubble pad. It don't make a fuck to me. I'm putting that period in, and it's going to hit something. I'm costing other people repairs. That's the point. If they level me, oh well, it's going to fucking hurt when they do it.
But us as a player have really been hurt on this bubble pad issue, right? Having the little hokey changes they've made and not announced has really screwed the player base, and they still haven't announced it, and that to me pisses me off. I mean, I'm still having the problem with deleting, so I'm still claiming items I can't put in, and that's because they screwed it up.
But couldn't you put one inside the base and one outside the base that would level it up, even if you don't put anything on it?
Why? Nothing kills them. They just drive by them. That doesn't level my bubble pad. You get it?
Well, that's why you have to set up the turret to where if they drive by it and don't kill it, that is going to cause them severe damage by leaving it there.
Yeah.
That's where the strategy comes into play.
Yeah.
But I'm
so we can put 3 in, yeah? We can put 3, so you got that maybe like 2 on your island and then 1 up at the front, and if they don't kill it, it's going to kill them.
If I can put it on a portal, I'm golden with it. That's what I'm saying.
Well, you don't have to put it on a portal though in order to be able to fuck them up if they don't kill it.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not okay with just fucking them up, because then I'm still getting prepped out.
Yeah, but like if you can set it up to where you can get prep, and with some of these arcs and directional and the power, you're not considering the power that's coming out. All you're thinking about is the armor. Like, oh, what's this armor going to do? What's that fucking power going to do? If you can set them up in crossfire, like to where they can't escape one or the other, and you got 3 of them in there, go ahead and let them try and get up there and prep it.
Yeah, that's it. Because you've got to make it so that if they don't kill it, you're going to kill them.
Hey, I'm all for these turrets, and I love this new. I do. I like these designs. I promoted it in the last show. I'm for these new changes. The only thing I don't like is this insanity thing about adding armor points to a weapon. You did it on a ship, and I'm just saying, how did that work? So you're doing it on a turret now. Let's see how it works. Because I know what it did to my fleets, and I'm just saying I think I can foresee kind of what it's going to do to my base, because it's basic, it's easy to see, it's easy to foresee, like it was with the fleets, like the clown cars, like we are going to start using things for armor points instead of weapons. What? Wait a second. Oh wait, that could be used immediately that way. So they don't see that? Surely they see that. That's what I'm saying.
Well, but also we have no idea what they're going to do with the changes to the bubble pad coming up in like 2 weeks either.
I know. So why would you put a weapon out first?
Because it might play into those changes, and then that way the weapon is ready and they're ready to be used, into that new bubble pad system, as opposed to having to wait for it.
Okay, well, I'm okay. I'll wait, and I'm getting it. I mean, I'm just saying, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm trying to find where they talked about that and when it's coming up, but of course it's hard to find anything in the forum. So
yeah, I think it was not this past Wrong Thinker Thinks, but the one before that, and then they said about mid-February is when all that shit.
Yeah, that's sort of what I remember.
I've never got an answer for when they moved when armor on turrets altered the bubble pad. When exactly was that change?
Well, everything is relative, isn't it? Yeah, how much armor everything has.
No.
That's how it weighs up where the bubble pad is.
No,
I think
it's not how it always has been.
Well, tell me, like when we had blue turrets and copper turrets, level 3 and level 4, when you upgraded your 4 and you got more armor.
But here, it always went off the base health of the turret, not any additional armor that you put onto it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the additional armor changed, I believe it was sometime around June of last year, and it got all screwed up in communications, and I think that's when it was originally supposed to be changed. But regardless, it doesn't matter when it changed so much as the fact that it did change.
What I'm saying is,
whether we like it or not, it's here and we have to deal with it.
No, I'm saying I don't think it is here and we have to deal with it. I'm saying I don't think so. I'm saying I think it's here and it's gone, and it's here and it's gone, and it's here and it's gone. And they never have said when it's here or when it's gone.
I don't think that's true.
I do.
I don't. Because if it was here and it was gone, and it was here and it was gone, then you wouldn't have to be deleting turrets to fix your bubble pad right now.
The thing is it is here, at the moment. Yeah. So back to present day, it is here, and we have to adapt to what we currently have.
Right.
That's it.
That's the point I was trying to make.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they're not things I can put in without drastically affecting my bubble pad. I like them. I love the weapons. I love the things. I just don't like the armor until I guess we see what their changes in 2 weeks. And that's a fair statement. I mean, because I do love, I like I'm not thrilled with the mortar but I like the missile. I just don't like the armor points.
And that's fine, and you don't have to use them. And some of us do like them and are going to use them. I literally, honestly, don't understand why we're spending all this time arguing about. I'm going to use them, and I'm not. I just really just a whole lot of time arguing about something that's all perspective.
Because that's what it's all about. We have different opinions and we discuss them. That's the idea. Anyway, never mind. All right. So, is there anything else anyone wants to talk about with Bounty, or are we done with it?
I'm sure all the people who did their chargebacks and weren't able to get the 2 big armors are now happy that they can get them in this one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting one, because there wasn't really any penalty for that in the end, but I guess that's what they do, because they think that those people will spend money again. So even if they do have to give it back.
Well, and they probably will. I mean, shoot, they're right back in the game again.
Oh yeah, I feel like, well, wasn't Deathkeeper the guy who was in the ringleader of that whole chargeback thing, and then he like way up there on the leaderboard in this bounty this time?
Yeah.
Which is probably why he's trying to get so many points, because he's missed a whole lot of stuff. So
commit fraud and you'll do well in the game. That's
well, never mind.
Oh, on a good note, I'm happy about how my base is finally getting to be, in all honesty, it's not some grand thing or awesome thing, but it's better than it's been since refactor. So I'm pleased with that, and I really didn't know and you don't know until bounty, for me, where you don't, because the activity isn't that high and around me that lately.
Well, I mean, what I'm annoyed about it is I missed the last bounty, so I didn't pick up the armors. So I got hit for over a month with malices and stuff like that, and rages. And then them guys, then they got their money back. They got to hit me. They got to hit me for a month and got their money back. And I had to build a guard fleet to defend against them. I finally got one built that worked and could kill them. And then they done a second refactor and completely nerfed my guard.
No, I got a funny story. I got a funny story for that. I know Art B's heard this story already, so I know he thought it was funny as hell. I put in a ticket specifically about that, saying about how you buffed the armors on the breacher, and now you've made my sirens that I built for countermeasures completely worthless. Well, I get this reply back to my ticket saying, well, we rebalanced some things, specifically hopes and valiance, and they went on to talk about the differences in tiers and whatnot. And I'm like, this has literally nothing, not a thing to do with what I said in my ticket. So I responded, and I was like, obviously, you did not read my ticket. I said nothing about hopes. I said nothing about valiance. I was talking about you nerfing my countermeasure siren hole. And then I get a response back that says, oh, well, the best thing we can tell you to do now is maybe talk to other players to see what ballistic weapons would be good. And I'm just like, oh my God. It's like, when you put in tickets, these people obviously not even reading.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, I had 2 hopes, 2 valiants in front of an Omni. Now, the valiants, let's just pop down to them. They're still bloody there. They had the what's the other special that gives you 35% all damage as well, because they activate that as well. That. So the amount of the amount of rocket damage, like explosive damage and reload was massive. And I mean, you could come in with a rage, and if it didn't kill you in the first shot, it'd kill you in the second. So you wouldn't get round. Because you could outrange him with the hopes, at the front, and then the valiants behind, and then an Omni behind that, and that was working really well. And for a few days until they decided to do a refactor again, and
love them refactors.
Fucking love it, yeah. Thank you. Now I'm going to build another guard fleet. Yeah, sorry, but
I had
it's a shared experience for that one, so we all know exactly how you feel.
And I didn't get a penny in compensation for it, and I had to build a guard fleet to counter a mistake that they obviously have identified and admitted to. Otherwise, they wouldn't have given people the money back in the first instance for building the rages and the malices and stuff, And yet the people that had to build the counter to that have not been compensated.
Well, and I mean, it just goes with kind of the way the game has always been, though. The game has always favored attackers over defenders. Always, always, always. And it probably always will.
Yeah, it's not a way to endear yourself to people, now, is it?
In a way, though, attackers get punished a lot more now. Adding the patrol fleets in, the base does contribute to it, and you got, your dock, and I think, what is it, like 23 coins or something, whereabouts, if you want to insta do it. So it's going to equal out kind of that way, but then you still have your guard, but generally those are half repair. So you got to think the way that's a lot of players have been forced into prep fleets and stuff, in the end, they're getting way more time and damage ratio compared to what the defender does.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking. I've got to scrap some ships now, which is I hate doing. What I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely hate.
cringe every time. Like I deleted 2 Crusaders. You know, it's like, what am I going to use it for? But I just like, oh, why do
Well,
I do
that's yeah. See, yeah. So what am I going to scrap now? I just built the Valiants. Am I going to scrap them again now? You know what I mean?
that?
You know, it's like, you know, I only finished building them a couple of weeks ago. You know, and now what? I'm scrapping them again.
Yeah, well, it's hard with that now too, because we've seen that you know, ships that were useless and got scrapped all of a sudden were made OP again. So it's like now it's really going to be a punishment if you scrap a ship, because you never know when it's going to be useful again by some special that's put out that wasn't or armor that's, you know, used, because the players will always find a solution. And
this is it. Ironically, it's not that we don't know; it's that Kickside don't know what's going to become useful again, and that's why it went wrong last time. You know.
Yes. Yeah, because they didn't look far enough back.
They haven't looked to see what we've still got in our arsenal, basically. You know, what we can pull back on, like, you know, our old holes and what we've won, and suddenly think, hang on a minute, this is going to work well with that, you know. And like, you know,
and the other part of that too is that a lot of people have got the tokens to build them, even if they have scrapped them. So yeah, it's a bit of short-sightedness there, but it's no real shock. So.
Right,
Yeah, I think it's where they play, you know, kind of with a full roadmap. So they know what the future is and what it holds, and they keep us, you know, on suspense, locked down all the time. So that's sometimes I think they're so focused on what's coming that they fail to remember what was.
Well, that I'll definitely agree with, because I think, you know, they kept saying about one of the problems with Tier 7 was that, well, this didn't make sense because you didn't have all the pieces, and you couldn't do this because you didn't have all the pieces, and that was a mistake. But they're making the exact same mistake now as what they did then. So obviously they learned nothing.
Yeah.
And have we got all the Tier 7 stuff yet? Or is there still some missing?
I think we have all the Tier 7 stuff. No, we don't, because we still don't have the concussive and corrosive ones that we haven't got yet. You know, we got the force.
The scope, yeah.
We haven't got the other for each one.
Yeah. So there's still Tier 7 stuff missing. It's just ridiculous.
See, maybe they should consider, like, you know, a lot of games when they do, you know, tier increases or, you know, power shifts, they do like an allotment where there's like a set amount of, like, say, like 2 or 3 different ships and like a bunch of specials, which I know they would charge us ridiculous, but if they didn't, if it was, you know, affordable, but it gave you an allotment of this amount of stuff, like here's all your tools and all your counters. Now it's up to you to use that, instead of like, oh, well, we're going to give you this, but next month we're going to give you the other piece that was supposed to go with it that makes it better. And then, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's stifling it sometimes. Like it slows the players' progression and their own creativity.
Yeah, so like release all the Tier 8 content at one time, and then like for PvP, release all the Tier 8 content for PvP at the same time, and then next bounty, I can choose up to 2 or maybe 3 of those items. I can't choose them all, even if I get enough points, but I can only choose 2 or 3 of those items. At least I can see right in front of me the entire roadmap for what you have planned, and I can make informed decisions.
Yeah. You know, or at least, you know, do like a quarterly, whatever their tier span is, like, you know, a quarterly section of, like, all right, here's this stuff for this little 2-month meta, and then here's this 2-month meta, and blah, 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 you know.
It'd make more sense than what the system they have now, that's for sure.
Sorry,
Yes, no doubt.
But if they were going to release it all at the same time, there would definitely have to be a cap on how many things you could redeem each thing.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, my God, I mean, the gap between the haves and the have-nots is already getting huger by the minute. If they did it and then put no limit on that, my God, could you imagine what it would be like then?
Yeah. But I mean,
they do it in raids. They have their little tree, so you can go up a tree and you can go either left, straight, or right, and you pick one path where you can get the hull or whatever it is, or the turret, or the weapon, or the special with the turret and the hull. Just make it like that,
and we've all
be
played.
so easy.
We've all played games where there's like, hundreds of unlocks and you see everything there and you know that you got to work your way up to get it. And I mean, that's how gaming was started. So I don't see the problem with kind of contributing that a little bit of that factor into it now instead of just a little here, a little there, which I know, tuning comes into it a lot, but, and it's a lot of stuff to create. But at the same time, if you're doing it right, it wouldn't be such a problem because all the content's there, and you're not, all of a sudden something's not coming out. It's like, oh crap, that broke the game.
Of course, I mean, I guess the downside of this though is they can't release one item and properly test it, and we're asking them to release 20 items and make sure they're all properly tested. That's the flip side of this whole thing.
Well, we do the testing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But look at it this way: if they did that and they weren't tested, which they aren't, I mean, I'm sure that the whole player base would not just go for one thing. There'd be all aspects would be covered, and all the bugs would come out straight away. And then by the time the raid comes around again, it'll all be fixed. How good would that be? And then all the future releases would be good.
I can imagine the amount of nerfing and stuff that would end up happening then, though, if they did it like that. And how many people would be pissed off about that?
Well, sometimes we're not happy unless we're pissed off. So.
Well, that's very true. I know several people in particular that aren't happy unless they're complaining about something.
Very good.
There are times that I myself fall in that category.
Of course, I think we all do from time to time. So, yeah. Now, so a couple of other things that I kind of wanted to discuss or see if anyone's got any answers to is, does anyone know when the next raid is?
Isn't it on the? Hang on, let's just look at the 7th of next month, I believe.
But is it? That's my question.
Because they only gave us, I know it was a January update, and so that would only cover January, but they only gave us the 3 weeks of FM notification on that. So I suppose most of us are assuming that it's going to be on Thursday the 7th,
But my question would be, when Chris made that January thing, did he remember that the January raid had got pushed back a week?
Because that's where my confusion comes in, because it was, they'd made the announcement that it was going to be the first Thursday of every month. So great, okay, I know when it is. But then we went back a week. So does that mean we're 4 weeks from the original one or 4 weeks from the second one? That's why I'm confused.
I mean, well, from my perspective, from my point of view, I'm planning or trying to get my eradicators finished or refitted, I should say, for the 7th, and they should be done, with the new, refits that we got from the FM.
Yeah, because that's kind of where I'm trying to work it out, where I'm going to be in my refits and armors, and when I should be trying to hold back tokens and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah, I mean,
kind of where
I'm a little different. I look at it as in the way that we got to have an event every goddamn week. Does it really matter which one it is?
Well, my advice would be, if you're building obviously your eradicators, is to plan on the raid being on the 7th and plan accordingly to that. So get your fleet as balanced as they can. If you get an extra week, then good luck. You might be able to refit a couple of other things that if you've missed out on them. But I would say plan for the 7th.
I'd rather it be on the 7th.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Historically, though, they do like to make raid dates on holidays. So just saying.
I don't want it on a holiday. I'd rather have it while I'm on vacation.
Well, you're assuming they care what you want.
Because I was going to say,
they want my money, they're going to want to do it.
It's never bothered them in the past.
So when is the pillage thing? So it'll probably be the next week after that, and then there'll probably be a Valentine's event.
Yeah, next week is the pillage thing.
Yeah, so I was going to go on to that next. So if you haven't seen BP next week, we've got another event next weekend. Woohoo!
Oh, God. Another one?
Another one. So
well,
yeah,
there's an event every weekend, isn't there? You know,
that's right.
That's
right.
You know. Yeah. It's like basically we've got a raid every week on top of a massive weekly FM. You know.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. We have an event every week, so it doesn't really matter which one it is. I mean, they all need the same freaking fleet half the time anyway.
Well, let's okay. I'm just going to go on a slight tangent here, but let's look at the FM. Yeah, the FM prices, the costs. They're like 2.5 million now or more, when they used to be the maximum of about 1.1 million.
Yep.
You
know? So you know that increase has gone right up as well. So you know you're now having to hit like 4 or 5 times as much as you did, like a year ago.
28.1 targets.
Yeah.
You know,
up on the first week.
Yeah.
Here's the way.
And we've told them how many times that we don't want more chores, and what do? They give us more. You know.
Well, the raid's the easy week now, so I mean, we got to be thankful. I mean, if you think about it, all the other events are way harder and way more taxing on your time of repairs with no half repair. So yeah, the raids are off week. That's our easy week.
That's a lot of that's perspective too, and where you happen to be at the time. Like for me, this VXP Battleground, easiest thing I ever did. I didn't even participate in it because I didn't need to.
I was going to say shh.
But I agree on the raid thing. I like the raid because it's the half repair. I like doing base hitting. I like doing other things than just raid during raid because half repair.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, of course, raid half repair. Okay, and if you got a grease monkey crew, that helps as well. You know, or two. But then when they do these other TFCs in between, we're hitting the same target and it's not half repair, and that's the con. That's what they're getting you know, when you've got to pick up the the flagship or something like that, or that's where you're getting screwed, again, because you're hitting the same targets with no half repair,
Well, Travis just mentioned something earlier. I don't know whether anyone caught on, but he said Valentine's Day event. How good would that be, eh?
Well, that's what we were talking about yesterday, yeah.
There'll be almost that the ride would be on the 7th, and then the next week after that, there'll be a weekend, a VXP or whatever it is they're going to call it now, plus the Valentine's event.
Yeah, ships be firing.
That's how I see it, yeah.
That's scary. I was just literally thinking the same thing. Instead of snowballs, there'll be little love hearts.
Little arrows with hearts on it.
I was thinking more that you would shoot out cupids, and then those cupids would merge into a bunch of little arrows. That's what
burning arrows.
Anyway, my tip for that weekend is if you're not happy in a relationship, get out of it then, and you can use the money that you would have spent on her, to pay for the raid.
And you can be careful those arrows don't hit you in the ass. That's where Cupid likes to shoot you, doesn't he?
Or pink skins.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God.
Yes. Pink skins.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I remember we
have ships that smell like perfumes.
Yuck.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I remember last year there was either a TLC or a raid on Valentine's Day, because I remember people complaining about it then. So there's got to be something for Valentine's Day.
Well, they're always, basically, it's not until there's something on every weekend now. Every weekend. So that's always going to cover whatever holiday that comes along now, because they are putting an event out there every weekend.
And the leaderboard special could be a bottle of Old Spice.
They can keep that special then.
I'll tell you what, if you came from the UK, I remember them old 1970s ads of like old boxers and footballers. It was like, Old Spice, like, you thought like the smell of Frank Bono. Some sweaty boxer, like, you know.
Yeah.
Dynamite brought up a good idea in chat. I don't know if anybody else was paying attention to it, but he said they should do an event for where people can get officers, people that don't have officers, you know, because officers
That would be nice.
difference in this game.
That's a great idea.
I think I've got 4. I've got 4 officers.
I've got 1.
Yeah. So they obviously they are useful, you know, like for your builds and stuff like that. Yeah, and speed ups of you know, obviously the in the base.
Oh. So I have like 17, and so like I think it should be something that players should be able to attain, because the people who are on like Kickstarter or Congregate, they can't get them at all. You know?
Yeah.
But 16 alt accounts is a bit much.
Hey, I brought a lot of people into the game. That's how you got them.
Yeah.
People that were my friends on Facebook, I'd be like, hey, I'm going to send you an invite to this game. Accept it. You don't have to do a goddamn thing. You don't ever have to play it. I just need you as an officer.
That's right. Yeah.
I was going to say, like, you know, 17 bases. You're your own alliance. You know.
Well, I guess there too, it would be a lot fairer if people had the same amount of officers as well. So maybe they could come up with, you know, a figure of you can have this many officers and you win them by, you know, earning this amount of points or whatever. So that could be another good way of doing it.
Well, 7 years ago, 6-7 years ago, you would invite people to play this game. Now, you wouldn't invite a friend to play this game.
That's right.
You would tell them to fucking run and keep running.
Well, you know, you're right. I wouldn't invite a friend to play this game, but there's still a lot of people I would invite to play this game.
Yeah, I got where you're coming from with that. Yeah.
It's a pretty fun game. All the good, it really is, except for the money aspect. And wouldn't you? You would. I mean, I think I would. I really would invite my friends to play the game, even at this point in the game. Despite the monetary part, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us are here because it's the community that's kept the game going, despite Kickstarter. Kickstarter. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we've made good friends over the years, and you know, and made bonds with people. You know what I mean? And forged that, and you know, and that's the fun element. And if you're in alliance, especially, you know, that's where you get that bond, and you know, and when you start working as a team. You know, a group of you go out and start hitting and smashing. That's fun. You know, like if you're taking out someone's Nexus or something like that, you know, that could be real fun.
It can be. It really can be. The friendships is really the best part. That live interaction and bonds that you can build with total strangers on the other side of the world.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we've got players from everywhere. You know, I mean, you know, South Africa, Australia, sort of Uruguay. Mexico, Canada, America, Malaysia, and a few of us UK guys, and even a couple of Scots. You know,
I'd also say though that that's something Kicks has to be very careful about, because I think for all these years up till now, that's one of the things they've kind of relied on to keep the game going, was the friendships and the social aspect of it. But what they need to realize is this game has been going for so long now that the people that we form the closest friendships with, we don't need the game to support those friendships anymore.
Yeah.
And
I think we're definitely at that point where that's something they need to become very aware of and realize, okay, we need to put a little more bang into the game as opposed to relying on that social aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, there are people that have left the game, you know, a year or two ago, and they're still friends on Facebook, and I keep, you know, they you know, up to date with them and stuff like that, and things that's going on in their lives, and you know, and stuff, and they bounce messages back to me and stuff, you know, and that's nice, you know. They go, how you doing? You know, how are things going? I said, same old. Basically, they're still screwing us. You know?
That's like me, RB, Toxic, Kiwi. We all spent hours and hours and hours during the course of the week on the Hangout, and probably only maybe a quarter of that is actually spent talking about Battle Pirates. We talk about everything under the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and alliances have certainly been doing that for a long time. If you've got TeamSpeak or, you know, whatever, and
yeah, go on.
You know, if you think about Yeah, if you think about the hours that we've spent all doing this same thing, it's like, well, of course those bonds are going to be pretty strong. So
yeah, I mean, I set up a Discord chat for us, which is it works for some. Obviously, some people are not native English speakers, so they won't get on there because you know they won't. I said, Dad, get on there. You know, like you'll get it. You'll get it. Because I see you type good English. So like you'll get there if you want. But I'd like to see more of them on the Discord chat because it's nice when you're trying to organise a mass smash sort of thing. Like if you're all on Discord at the same time.
There's nothing worse than trying to organize a mass sector smash or anything, and you're chatting in Alliance chat. That's never fun.
Well, that's it. I mean, you haven't got to type and drive at the same time because that on top of large amounts of beer or whiskey is.
See, we used to be able to do that when we had like 5 mile an hour map speed, and it took you 25 minutes to get to the next sector. You could plan it all out.
Oh, I see. Remember, you could only hit the next sector, or you could actually back in the day you could just if you was near the end of the edge of your sector, you could actually go to 2 sectors. The past there, yeah, and that's what I used to do when I first started hitting bases. I used to go as far away as possible, yeah, hoping that because it took about 4 hours. It must have taken about 4 hours to get there, yeah. But I used to go there because I thought, even if like they do want to hit me back, do I want to travel for 4 hours to do it?
Well, that used to be back in the days, right? When you would bookmark the Drac base and then send your fleet to the bookmark, and then that way you could actually send it there before you went to bed and wake up in the morning, and your fleet would still be okay because it was hiding under the Drac base and nobody could see it.
Yeah, I actually remember a time setting an alarm clock to hit a base.
I've never done that.
You hit a base because that's how long it was going to take for my fleet to get there. That's how back in the day, it really was going to be in the middle of the night.
The only time I've time set anything is a particular idiot that I didn't like, and I knew that his bubble was going to drop because I'd hit him once. So I thought, okay, 36 hours. Bang, he's getting because the idiot he gave a load of abuse, and if somebody does me, I'll go nice fleet or nice hit, It was a load of abuse, and it's like it's just a game, mate. It's pixels, but you get a load of personal abuse and stuff like that. And I thought, okay, you're not learnt this, have you? So I'm going to hit you every 36 hours, basically. You're on a loop, mate.
So I'm getting the feeling we're done talking about current stuff and we're into the reminiscing part now. We can probably kill the tree part.
Bringing up one thing, when I left to finish my degree and stuff, I needed the time to really concentrate on it, and my alliance was going strong. And when I come back, I'm basically the only one there, so I don't get like bonuses like a lot of people are, and I'm too stubborn to let it go pretty much, and so the officers and stuff do kind of help me out quite a bit on that aspect where other people get help. And
I quit for over a year. I formed an alliance called TAC, and we had over 180 members across 5 alliances, and it was going pretty strong. And then I quit for over a year. I mean, I was so busy with work and stuff. I was like, I was upgrading a lot of things, new contracts, and when I came back, basically half the players had quit. And the others had joined sort of GIMPs or CAS and various other alliances. But fortunately, I saw another alliance that moved into our sector called MUG. And they had about 35 members, but they were pretty active. And I see they were a good bunch of guys. And I asked to join, and I did just over a year ago. And now the fools, they've made me the leader, but but we're up to way over 80 players and growing strong, and I've got players coming in, they're telling me they've got a few other players that might want to join us as well at high level. And I said, look, all I ask is that you're active. Yeah. We don't want passengers. It's just be active, get out there, and try and get your alliance points if you can. We know everyone has busy lives sometimes, and you can't always do it. But if you've got enough players between you, you should be able to get it. In a reasonably big alliance. So, but it's good. I mean, and it's a great bunch of guys. It really is, and I'm enjoying that side of it. I won't lie. That, as we're saying, the community, that keeps us there. That is it. That's the aspect I'm really enjoying about the game. If I wasn't in Alliance, if I was a solo player, I don't even think I'd still be here.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's good that you're. Well, it's good to hear that alliances are still, doing that sort of thing, and you can still grow, and people are interested. So that is a good, good aspect of it.
Yeah. But I think because we're an active alliance, and it's buzzing. All the time the chat is buzzing. It's not like it's very rare you'll get dead air in our alliance. Because I think we got players from all different time zones, so there's nearly always somebody on.
Yeah.
That keeps it alive.
I know it's interesting for me because all the people I talk to and interact with on a regular, almost everyday basis in the game, none of us are in the same alliance.
That's true. None of us are.
Well, I'm obviously another one that's not.
Well, that's good because it means that there's different experience and different opinions and all that sort of thing. So it does make it a bit more interesting. So yeah.
I know I enjoy my ally.
Yeah, you're in cash, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think I heard you mention that before. Yeah. I remember years ago, like when Cass, when I first met them, and we had a load of guys in our alliance, but they joined us. Their alliance folded, about 7 or 8 of them, and they joined us. But I said, you know what, Cass is really going to suit you. Yeah, you guys, because they were more like insector hitters and stuff like that. And I said, that's really that alliance is tailor made for you at the time, and and they jumped and joined that one, but I still remain friends with them.
Yeah.
But I said, we don't. Our alliance don't hit insector unless in retaliation, sort of thing. So, but they obviously, as you're in cash, that they do that. They hit insector. So. And that's what those guys wanted to do. And I said, you know what, you're actually going to be better off. And it was sad because they were high-level players, my level and even higher, some of them. But it was like, this is not what our alliance does, if you get where I'm coming from.
Oh, I get where you come from. Most allies I've been with before, they weren't any insecting.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's fun. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, there was a guy that was sniping my wife's base, and me and one of our other players, we jumped into his sector and wiped out his entire alliance, and so that was insected, obviously, but I mean, most of them jumped, only a couple stayed, but I mean, they were flat, but yeah, I mean, we chased them out the sector. So, I mean, but that's probably, I won't lie to you, in all these years of playing, about the only time I've ever really done insecting,
Well, my alliance, our tag is ass, and our alliance is the assholes, and but so you can imagine what we did. But we didn't farm anyone. We had a one-hit rule. You didn't farm anyone unless they were just an ass, and then Damnation can testify to this. Then they got hammered.
I was an ass for a while, and it was fun. I mean, I remember ass before it was actually an alliance. When it was just the group of guys before alliance around.
Yeah, it was just a Facebook group.
Okay, remember when they first done the sector consolidation, and you could jump around every hour or two.
Every 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so basically, the idiot from that alliance that was the sniper and would be constantly sending me PMs. Yeah, I went bang, I jumped into his sector, smashed him, smashed his alliance leader, jumped back out again. You know what I mean? It's like you could just keep jumping in and out. It was lovely. But what I did as well in that time is that I left a bookmark in every single world that we can jump to if we need to. You know, because that seemed like a good idea, sort of thing. You know, like so. You know, we can jump to any world because of course everything was changing. So.
Oh, that was a pretty smart thing to do, actually. I liked that jumping around feature. I did not take advantage of it like some did, but I think
I did.
I think it just should be in place all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I think it should be kept in place. You know what I mean? Because I don't see why we can only jump once a week. There doesn't seem to be any reason for it.
Well,
It's every 3 days now.
Yeah, I think that was one of the byproducts of them seeing how much people had fun doing it. The every 10 minutes thing while it's available was that they reduced it to we can now jump every 3 days.
And I think that's a good place. And 3 days is good. I'm glad that it's really changed.
Yeah, 3 days I think is really good. It gives you an idea to kind of really get the lay of the land of where you end up at to find out whether you want to be there or not.
Yeah, I mean, we because of when it was weekly, we were actually only jumping every 2 weeks because of the, you know, people being all over the place and them catching up. And, you know, because you'd end up with people that are a day or two behind. So we'd say, we'll jump every 2 weeks, you know what I mean? So we'll be in one place to do the raid and one place to do the bounty. Because that was at the time when there was only 2 raids a month. You know?
Get that right. Yeah, let's reminisce about when there was only 2 raids a month.
All right, so we're officially done talking about new stuff then.
Yes.
Well, what is the pillage thing? Exactly. What do y'all think that is? I mean,
I'm sorry, what?
The pillage event. I just briefly glanced over it. So, like, what exactly and when is that?
I don't know for sure. I'm wondering if we're going to have a second event in February called Rape. That's what I'm wondering.
Hey, that's my line. All right. Anyway, so it starts on Thursday, and it says it's a special activity designed to catch players up to the current power tier. Contains awesome siege tech prizes along with collector chests for those that are trying to round out their collections. Yeah, so it'll be like that the bacon chests and that sort of thing, and the siege.
Yeah, I'm wondering what they consider current power tech. Does that mean they're going to be collecting shards from the limited things and targets? Is that what they're considering current power tech?
Quite possibly. I mean, I guess it could be similar sort of thing, you know, that you're getting Shrike tokens or whatever, or
no, I don't think they're going to give out any build tokens for this.
You're not going to see any build tokens. I can tell you that.
You know, they want you to coin them.
Siege tech prizes.
Yeah, siege tech, but not tokens. So that will be like, true. You know, yeah. I mean, for most of us, or sorry, for those of us that have already got, or you know, caught up, that's probably almost a free weekend. You know.
But no, it won't be, because you know damn well they're going to put something in there to make even us who are caught up have to do stuff. You know that they're going to do that.
Yeah, there'll be one thing in there. Yeah,
I mean, their sole plan right now is to monetize every single aspect of the game that they can to every single player. So they're not going to give you a free event where you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, what was it? The VXP last weekend, I didn't do it.
You didn't have to do the VXP.
Yeah, there was nothing there that I needed. No, absolutely nothing. That was vital to me. You know, so I think that one I missed.
The real heavy coiners, though, the guys who had built their strikes and stuff already, they had to participate in it, and that's where most of the focus is.
Yeah, and you know, it's like some of these other events, and one thing I don't want is a fucking hat. You know what I mean? Things. You know?
We're never going to forget about.
Yeah, because how fucking cool will I look when I go down the pub and your mate says, "Where do you get that from?" Oh, I spent fucking £2,000. You know what I mean? Like, you know, most expensive hat in the freaking world.
Well, you didn't want to spend £2,000 to get a grease monkey in the last in the VXP Battlegrounds. What's wrong with you?
Well, this is it. I mean, normally, you know, when if I'm on the show here, yeah, what I normally do, I'll be rolling for crews at the same time. You know, I've got 29 grease monkey crews. You know.
Oh,
Oh, you're giving me hell about officers. You're giving me hell about officers.
There's some of those grease monkeys. Damn.
So yeah, I mean, but that's it. I mean, it's like killing time, isn't it? You know, when you're on there, because virtually I've finished my you know, bounty. I've done my FM, so now, you know, I'm just rolling for crews and stuff like that. You know.
Well, I mean, this is the time to do it, because if you specifically have to go and, you know, roll crews, you've decided that's what you're going to do. Sitting there for an hour trying to do it is just insanity, and I know I've certainly liked to see something done about that. But
well, that's it. I mean,
not.
If you were just sitting there rolling crews with nothing else, no entertainment going on, yeah, I'd go fucking mad. You know, I mean, that's why I tend, you know, like if I'm, you know, you're on a show or something like that, you do it at the same time, so you're not even feeling it. You know what I mean? If you get
I know. RB and Toxic can both attest to this. Rolling crews puts me to sleep.
Yeah, it used to do the same to me. It used to do the same
that to everyone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've fallen asleep before.
I'll tell you what. You know, if it's late and you need to get to sleep, start rolling for crews and it helps. You know what I mean? Like, you know?
I can be wide awake and all animated and talking about stuff, and I'll start rolling crews, and suddenly they'll be like, "Damnation's not saying anything."
Yeah, we don't need sheep counting sheep. You can just roll for crews. So.
Yeah, you start dreaming about crews.
That's right. That sexy redhead.
That automated thing that you're just clicking the button, and then you kind of zone out and you're not paying attention. You're like, oh shit, I just passed a grease monkey.
Yeah.
I've only ever done that once. Only once, you know.
Or it was I think it was just a couple days ago that I accidentally passed on the demo squad, and I was like, God damn it.
Well, that's it. I mean, I was down to 4 demo squads, and I rolled a couple yesterday, but I was rolling for them and kept getting grease monkeys. Ironically, you're not going to turn them down, but I was after the demo squads. You know.
Yeah, I don't roll anymore. I'll buy those chests for 200,000 points. That's what I do from now.
It's a
Much
shame.
better.
Shame we can't just buy them in the store, you know.
200,000 points for a steelhead. What a bargain.
I was going to say, yeah.
I'll buy another if I stand in there till I get one.
Oh dear.
Very
good.
I have a feeling sometimes, like, you know, before you log in, they're going to do a credit check on you before you can log in this.
Okay, we're done. I'm pulling the plug.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Very good.
As always, thanks for coming out and watching us, guys. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe. And if you haven't sent your friends to the page already, shame on you. Do it now. Until Thursday, we're out of here. Have a good one.
Okay. Good night.
See you later.
Hope y'all have a good weekend.